Hello and welcome to Sweetleaf Soapery's YouTube channel. For those of you who are new around here, my name is Faith Ann Bodiani and I am the owner and soap maker of Sweetleaf Soapery. For today, I will be making Cotton Breeze, which will be the first soap in the June collection. It's a beautiful cotton and floral scented soap. And without further ado, let's go ahead and make our soap for today. I have my oils melted down, they are at room temperature, and now I'm going to add my lye water solution into my oils and blend it with my stick blender. And my lye has been sitting for truthfully about 2 days, so I really need to strain it. And all of this lye that is in the strainer, you still need to incorporate it. So I'm just going to mash it through my strainer into my oils. My oil and my lye water are fully incorporated and it is time for us to pour it into our buckets. So my soap is going to be a piped soap, it's going to be a high top soap. So this is going to be my frosting. I'm going to set it off to the side and let it sit up and we will be working with this batter. So how I want my soap today is I want it to be mainly blue. We're going to be working with a cotton fragrance today. And I want little wisps of brown and white in it. So for my colorants today, I have some brilliant blue mica in this container mixed with a little bit of titanium dioxide. I have some mocha brown mica in this container, and this one is going to be white. This one has my titanium dioxide in it. I have my colors fully mixed in, and it took me quite a bit of brilliant blue and titanium dioxide to get this shade, because I use extra virgin olive oil and that makes your soap super green. And that's also why, if you guys have been watching, I have a hard time getting my white to be a very bright white. So if you are soap making, it's usually best if you're going for color to use maybe a pumice or a pure olive oil. But with all that being said, our fragrance for today is Nature's Garden Cotton and Blossoms. So this fragrance oil smells really great. It smells really nice and clean. And in the description, it says that it speeds up trace a little bit. So I'm going to whisk these in by hand. And then for our swirl today, we're going to be doing an in the pot swirl. So then I'm going to dump my brown and my white into my blue bucket, and then we are going to pour it into the mold. So I am going to pour the brown right into the middle. And I'm going to pour the white around the outside. And I feel like within the pot swirls, it doesn't really matter how you pour your soap. As long as it's in one bucket, then you're doing it right. All right, so I'm just gonna take it and start pouring. And I'm just gonna pour it on one side and let it do whatever it's going to do. And some soap makers, when they're doing their in the pot swirls, some of them make figure eights in the middle, like when it's in your container, you scrape it around with your spatula a little bit. I do not personally do that because I am the kind of lady who likes to overdo things. So I do not do stuff like that personally because I know mine is going to look horrible and be too overmixed and too swirly or whatever. So I just like to keep it simple because if I don't keep it simple, then it gets way too crazy and ends up looking horrible. I have zero self-control. And I'm just going to scrape my other containers right on top because I have no use for texturing the top or anything like that because we will be piping these bars. All right, my containers are nice and scraped out. I'm going to tap this on the ground to hopefully get out any air bubbles, and I will be back to texture the top. All right, I am back. It's been about 20 minutes for my piping to set up just right. And what I think I'm gonna do today is I think I'm gonna do 4 across like this, and then 3 on top of that, 2 on top of that, and 1. So instead of doing my regular 3 by 2 by 1, I'm gonna do 4 as the base. And I hope that these will look like little cotton buds. That's kind of what I am going for. So recently I had a very cool experience happen to me. I have been making soap for probably close to a year now. And before I actually started making soap, I was researching it like crazy because there are a lot of variables with soap. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be very dangerous. But my boyfriend's dad is I don't know exactly what his position is, but he is a professor and he teaches a lot about environmental studies and stuff like that. I don't know what his exact department is, but he emailed me the other day, and in the email he said one of his students, oh my gosh, there's so many air bubbles, one of his students wanted to do a project in Ecuador, and their project was to teach rural communities in Ecuador about soap making. So that was really neat. She and I got in contact, and we're under quarantine right now, so we had to Zoom. And I thought that that was a very interesting idea, and I felt really good that I was able to help her out. So she just personally didn't know about the soap making side and stuff like that. So I was able to help her out with that, which was really cool. And that for me was the first time that I ever really got to talk about soap with someone else who really loved soap. So, you know, I talked to my dad about soap and I talked to my boyfriend, but you know what? I can tell that that soap is not where their passion lies. So it was really neat for me to have that experience because I feel like soaping is kind of a niche hobby. I feel like the soap market, however, is pretty saturated, which, you know what, that's fine. But you never really meet another cold process soap maker, someone who's so interested in it and wants to talk about it. And something I would suggest for new soap makers, if you are thinking about soap, or if you, again, are having some wonderful idea where you would love to teach people about soap, I would highly suggest researching like crazy and learning about lye safety, because like I stated earlier, soap making can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing necessarily. I don't want you burning yourself or others with some poorly made soap because you don't know what you're doing. So it has been roughly 24 hours. It's been a little shy of 24 hours, but my loaf is ready to cut. All right, so this is the first cut of these bars. This one is really cool. I think this one might be my favorite. If you would like a bar of Cotton Breeze for yourself, it will be available June 1st, 2020 at 7 p.m. on my Etsy shop. My Etsy link will be in the description below. It's just Sweet Leaf Soapery on Etsy. And if you liked watching this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out my channel. And I hope you all have a fabulous and wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.